kids. Today we're going to do a brief lesson on solving absolute value equations. Before I start, I do want to remind you of the fact that absolute values is the distance a number is away from zero on the number line. So remember, if I have the absolute value of -5, we're asking how far away from 0 is -5. Well, we know it's exactly 5 units away. So how far away is 5 from 0 on the number line? Well, it's also 5 units away. So there are two values that go inside of the absolute value that give us the same corresponding answer. They both end up with an answer of 5. So let's go back to this problem and try that. Applying that knowledge, we know that what's inside of this absolute value here could be equal to +5, or it could have had a -5 value and just came out as a +5. So we've got two cases to consider, the positive case and we've got the negative case. So 2x minus 3 could have been -5. So we're going to solve these just like we did the other equations. To get rid of that -3, I add 3. -3 plus 3 is 0, so that leaves me with just a 2x on this side. When I come over here, since I added 3 on this side, I've got to do it over here. 5 plus 3 is 8. Property of equality tells me that if I divide this side by 2, I must also divide this side by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times x is x. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So x equals 4. On my negative case, same process. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. When I add 3 to -3, it's 0, so I'm left with 2x equals, these are different signs, so I subtract, keep the sign of the larger number, and now divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times x is x. -2 divided by 2 is a -1. So my solution set then is x equals -1 and x equals a +4. All right, let's try the next problem. Okay, if you want to pause the screen and try this problem on your own, I invite you to do so. 2/3 x plus 2 inside the absolute values, again, is equal to 5. I must like 5. So 2/3 x plus 2 equals 5. Or it could have been the negative case where 2/3 x plus 2 was a -5, but when I took the absolute value of that, I got +5. So I've got to consider both. So again, I want to subtract 2 from both sides. I have 2/3 x equals 3. Multiply by the reciprocal. That's how I get rid of a fraction, because I end up with 6/6, which is 1. 1 times x is x. If I do it on that side, I've got to do the same thing on this side. Multiply by the reciprocal of 2/3, which is 3/2, so I end up with 9/2, which is 4.5. Come over here, subtract 2 from both sides of the equation, not inequality. 2/3 x is equal to a -7 times by 3/2 times by 3/2. So I end up with -21/2. -21/2 is what, 10.5, -10.5. So if we wanted to graph it on the number line, we're going to have a dot in between 4 and 5 and in between -10 and -11 on the number line. So if we wanted to really draw that out here, I'm not going to because I don't have enough room, but we would know that our -10.5 would fall down here between -10 and -11, and our 4.5 would fall here between a +4 and a +5, and that would be our answer graphed. All right, now we're going to look at a word problem. It says, depending on the size of each song, Luna's phone holds an average of 2,000 songs, give or take 250 songs. Write and solve an equation involving absolute value to find the maximum and minimum number of songs that Luna's phone can hold. So let's think about this here. Her phone holds 2,000 songs, give or take 250. So she's got X number of songs on her phone minus the 2,000 gives us plus or minus 250. So I put absolute values around this. So we know that X minus 2,000 is equal to a positive 250, or X minus 2,000 is equal to negative 250. So we're going to add 2,000 to both sides on both equations. So her phone will either hold 2,250 songs, or if I do it over here, 2,000 minus 250 is 1,750 songs. So the solution set then is 1,750 songs, or 2,250 songs. This is my maximum and minimum, or in this case, minimum and maximum number of songs that the cell phone will hold. And that takes care of that problem. That is all that I have for you guys for today. So we'll go ahead and stop the screen, and hopefully that made sense to everybody.